Welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. Today's video is going to be on a little bit of a different topic. I'm sure many of you guys know exactly who this man is, Steven Crowder. This video is very, very old, but I figured let's react to it. It's only 1 minute and 30 seconds. He made some claims, all right, which I want to debunk, but keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, although I'm a Muslim, I'm a layman, okay? The knowledge in which I have in Islam compared to some people out there is minuscule, all right? So please take what I say with a grain of salt, and you can go do your own research and learn this for yourself if you don't want to listen to my, interpretation of what he means when he says certain things. Let's get it.
You've seen this.
When people say, hey, you look at these extremist Christians, well, hold on a second. If a Christian opens fire on a bunch of innocent civilians, it's pretty easy to see the daylight between that and what not only Jesus preached, but how Jesus lived.
Yeah.
For example, let me give you, and I've talked about this quite a bit. If someone commits murder, right, mass murder, and they say, I'm doing it because I'm a white Christian fundamentalist, which almost pretty much never happens. But if they do it, you go, okay, hold on a second. Did Jesus preach that? No. Okay. Did Jesus kill anybody? No. Did he mass murder anybody? No. Did he call for the death of no. All right. If you have an Islamic terrorist saying we're going to oppress women, okay, did Muhammad? Yes. If they say we're actually going to kill people who are apostates or Jews, did Muhammad do that? Yes, he did. Killing Christians and Jews, he did it. Did he call for it? Yes. You can say that maybe some interpretations are murky. You cannot argue that he didn't do those things himself.
Right.
Maybe you can say it was at a time of war. It wasn't. That's a huge difference, too. Early Christianity, and think about this for a second, and you've talked about in your apologetics. Early Christianity spread even though people were being executed, right? Martyrs.
Yeah.
Spread by word of mouth.
Keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, he said early Christianity. So, there's a reason why he said early Christianity, because we understand of the crusade. We understand how Christianity was spread in places like Africa. All right. We know these things. We can read for ourselves, Crowder. There's a reason why he said early. Why? Simple. When Christianity was coming up, it had no power. It had no power. I'm sorry to tell you this, but Christianity had no power, so it couldn't conquer anybody. So they had no other choice but to be among the community. And of course, they were getting persecuted by people like Paul, right? One of your founders of Christianity, by the way. Modern Christianity, I would say.
Okay? Islam, with no real known oppressors, because it wasn't a religion that people were super concerned about at that point in time, was spread by the sword. So you were facing martyrdom, you spoke. No one really knew what you were doing. No one really knew who you were following, you killed. That's the spread of these two religions, and that's why you see two very different results. Does that make sense?
Okay. Now, let me go ahead and, so first of all, if you want to go ahead and look into this for yourself, I'm going to give you guys a graph, all right? And the graph, this is where I found it. War, peace in Islam, right? Now, look at this graph right here. Now, Steven Crowder, like I said, there's a reason why he said early Christianity. There's a reason why he said that, because he knows once Christian got power, it became a bloodbath. It became a bloodbath. Over the period of Christianity, 178 million people were killed. Now, this is innocent people, and obviously during war, you get it. It's all mixed up in here. So this guy went ahead and did the graph. Obviously, Christianity is number one on the list, and then atheists. Now, we know World War I, World War II, we know atheists, they make it seem like they're the religion that don't kill people, but let's be honest, these people are also freaking barbaric as heck. All right, atheists. And then Buddhists, they make it seem like they're the most peaceful people on the planet. Yeah, that number says otherwise, buddy. And so yeah, we go on, and then Islam is literally what? So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th place. 6 to, that's where Islam lies, buddy. That's where it lies. So him making a claim, making it seem like Christianity is such a peaceful religion, and Jesus did not command us to kill anybody, and Jesus was such a peaceful person. These people didn't follow the Bible very, very well, Crowder. Why don't you tell your people about this number right here? Why don't you tell your viewers about the barbarity that Christians spread in the world when they gained power. Anyways, so yeah, he made it seem like Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam went on a rampage and just, unalive many people. I'm going to tell you right now, 90% of the war that was fought during the time of Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was defensive war. Meaning what? They were being attacked, unprovoked. That's what happened. When Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, when he was persecuted for over 13 years, he obviously migrated to Medina. And when he did that, as a prophet, he preached. He got over 10,000 followers, and he came back into Mecca. When Muhammad returned to Mecca with 10,000 followers, he did so in a largely peaceful manner. After being persecuted for 13 years, ladies and gentlemen, when he was in Mecca, he was being persecuted. The people who followed him were also being persecuted. They were being boycotted, right? So much so that he was commanded to leave. And then when he came back with 10,000, the power was in his hand. He could have done whatever he wanted to the people of Mecca, the people who persecuted him for 13 years. But instead, what did he do? Peaceful. And the city surrendered with minimal conflict. He then proceeded to clean the Kaaba of idol and re-eradicated it to the worship of God alone. So, yeah. Seriously, man. I'm not really surprised that Steven Crowder would make such claim about Islam. Why am I not surprised? Because this is America. Okay, if you were raised in America and you were educated in America, there's a little bit of bias when it comes to Islam. Islam is taught to you from the beginning that it is such a barbaric religion and they're your enemy and they're out to kill you no matter what. When in reality, that's not the case, buddy. We're not going to touch you. If you don't want to accept Islam, so be it. What is one of the verses in the Quran? La ikrah fi din, meaning there's no compulsion in Islam. You cannot force somebody to be a Muslim, buddy. Next, he also made a claim about Muslims being oppressed. Islam granted women certain rights, particularly in areas of property, marriage, and inheritance, starting in the 7th century. When did the women in America get their right? When did Susan B. Anthony fought for women's rights? Let's find out. All right, Susan B. Anthony began her fight for women's rights in the early 1850s. Yeah, it hasn't even been 200 years. Shocker. Yeah, and women were given their right in the 7th century. Oh no, but Muslims are barbaric. Muslims hate women. Muslims oppress women. Oh my God, look at that. Look at the difference, like day and night. Next. All right, why did Muhammad fight the Jews? First of all, let me go ahead and set the context here. There was a peace treaty between the Muslims and the Jews. Guess what? Jews went ahead and broke the peace treaty and started oppressing the Muslims. Obviously, they had to fight back. Now, Steven Crowder is not going to tell you that. Why? Because he's biased. He has an agenda when it comes to him saying that, well, Muslims killed Jews, even though Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was married to a Jew. He married a Jew. So what's your point, Steven Crowder? That Muslims are commanded to go ahead and unalive any Jews that we see on the street when that's not the case. Next. Anyway, he also made a claim that Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam also unalived Christians. According to many Islamic sources, there's no record of Muhammad killing any Christians or ordering their execution for not accepting Islam. Okay, let's say we fast forward and then we say, cool, Islam was, after Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, then they started unaliving Christians. Really? Really, did they? Anyways, let me go ahead and let me finish reading this. According to Islamic sources, there's a record of Muhammad killing. There's no record of Muhammad killing any Christian or ordering the execution for not accepting Islam. In fact, the Muslim Right Guild of American State, Muhammad wrote a Ashtenam, a declaration protecting and granting religious freedom to Christians living under Muslim rule. And then if you look at Spain, Muslims, Christians, and Jews lived in harmony for thousands of years. For thousands of years, Steven Crowder. Before you start talking about Islam, you should probably do some digging instead of making yourself look like an idiot. Islam is the fastest growing religion in the world for a specific reason. All right. We don't bend knees to the woke mob. We don't reform our Islam to fit modern society. We don't do that. We believe that when the Quran came down from the beginning to the end, exactly how it came down, we're supposed to follow it to the T, to the best of our ability. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Okay. Anyways, I just wanted to go ahead and, rant on a little bit about this buffoon over here talking about something that he has no knowledge of. And again, like I said, before I end it off, I just want to go ahead and show you guys this right here. So if any Christian decide to say we are the religion of peace and, Islam is extremely barbaric, go ahead and screenshot this. Show it to them and say, what did you say? Christianity, religion of peace? Yeah, this graph says otherwise, buddy. Anyways, thank you so much for stopping by. I'm going to go ahead and just stop it right here. Later.